Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today.
Today we are covering the Shepherd of Hermas,
chapters 9 through 16.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We are a little bit late. We got caught up in a conversation. Yeah, it's quite the conversation, and I actually do have to share the link to the Discord. But hello, hope everyone is doing well out there. We are covering some another vision.
Yes,
it's going to be a vision of a tower,
not a whole vision. We're covering half of vision.
Yeah, part of a vision. Yeah, because this is a pretty long one. But the first part of the vision is going to be about a tower.
All right.
Yeah. And the way that I initially titled this, after like reading through like this introductory part of the vision, was one old woman and 6 angels walk into a vision or something like that, or sitting on a couch, something stupid. I tried to make it sound like a setup to a joke, but then I was like, you know what? This is really bad. It's probably not even going to land. No. So I didn't even, I just got rid of it, changed it to something else.
And now you've brought it up again.
I have,
and it didn't land.
No, it didn't.
It was a bad joke.
It was.
This is why your stand-up career never took off.
Yep, that's totally it. It's really weird that I don't actually have vivid memories of the one time that me and Joe were on stage and we tried being funny.
No,
I
blanked.
I think I saved that somewhere, and it does exist if you have the link to it, but you can't see it otherwise because MM made it private, and they're not MM anymore.
Right? Yeah. That's good. That's a good thing. That as far as
like their whole video history now only goes back like half a year.
Oh, are they trying to distance themselves from Trump?
They did. What do you mean try? They did, and they failed still. Everybody's like, oh.
Wait, when were they distancing themselves from Trump?
I don't know if they're doing that. That's not what I was saying. I mean, they did change their name.
They changed their name, to Myth Informed.
No,
a while
changed
ago.
It again, I think.
They did?
Yeah, they did a while ago, like a year ago.
A second time?
Twice, yeah. Doesn't matter, guys.
Oh, yeah, like Myth Informed M-Key. I saw that, but...
They like... full on became a partisan organization.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Yeah, life, man.
It literally started off as like, let's talk about religion and probably the historicity of Jesus, and now it's the furthest thing from it.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Lawrence? Mythicism is wrong. You just want to talk about
important issues, they say now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right, my ass.
Mythicism is wrong.
I agree.
So... the entire basis of MM is destroyed. Anyways, I got this vision to talk about.
Yeah, let's do that.
Shepherd of Hermas, Vision 3, Chapter 9. What I saw, brothers, was this. After I fasted a great deal and asked the Lord to show me the revelation that he promised to reveal through the elderly woman, that same night, the elderly woman appeared and said to me, "Since you're so needy and eager to know everything, come to the field where you farm, and around 11 in the morning I will be revealed to you and show you what you must see." I asked her, "Lady, in what part of the field?" "Wherever you wish," she said. Great. I chose a beautiful spot that was secluded, but before I could speak with her to tell her the place, she said to me, "I will come there wherever you wish." And so, brothers, I went into the field and counted the hours. I arrived at that place that I had directed her to come, and I saw an ivory couch set up. On the couch was placed a linen pillow with a piece of fine linen cloth on top. When I saw these things laid out with no one there, I was astounded and seized with trembling, and my hair stood on end, terrified because I was alone. Then, when I came to myself, I remembered the glory of God and took courage. I bowed to my knees and confessed my sins again to the Lord as I had done before.
Yeah, so of course this couch with a fancy pillow on it.
Yes, the ark. The throne.
So apparently these are Latin loan words in the original Greek, I should say. So yes, sum. Hold on, this one is a weird one to say. Sumpselion, bench or couch, replaces the word cathedra of Vision 2. Kerbikarion, meaning the head pillow, and lention, meaning the linen cloth. So not an unusual phenomenon in Latin-speaking environment. Because it uses the Latin loanwords, which happens a lot. So Hermas's response of fright to this awesome sight. It's not really that awesome.
It's a couch.
Yeah, it's a couch.
Dude, that's awesome.
But hey, we get the appearance of the angels.
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
So go ahead.
Yeah. And she came with 6 young men whom I had seen before, and she stood beside me and listened closely while I prayed and confessed my sins to the Lord. She touched me and said, Hermas, stop asking exclusively about your sins. Ask also about righteousness, that you may receive some of it in your house. She raised me by the hand and led me to the couch, and she said to the young men, Go and build. And after the young men left, and we were alone, she said to me, Sit here. And I said to her, Lady, let the elders sit first. Do what I tell you, she said. Sit. But then, when I wanted to sit on the right side, she did not let me, but signaled with her hand for me to sit on the left.
See, that's probably important, right? Because sitting on the right side is like
it's reserved.
Yeah, for in different traditions it was reserved for a whole bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's the Messiah.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just like a second deity in charge or a secondary angel or something. But sitting at the right hand of God, at least, is like that. That is your right hand man. Is that where the phrase comes from?
I'm pretty sure.
It might be. So it's very important that this guy doesn't sit on the right side but on the left. And I remember there were times in the Bible where somebody was specifically said to be sitting on the left side because they were important, but they were not so important that they got to sit on the right side. Mm. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like there is any commentary on that part, which is unfortunate. But I will say that the word that's used for elder there, so the word is presbyter, right? Most commentators take the latter meaning. So yeah, presbyters. Sometimes even to the point of seeing here a tension between presbyterial and prophetic authority, which would kind of make sense, right? Because he can't sit on the right side, he has to sit on the left. Mm. So if you're doing some, and that's an important part of the narrative. So if this is about some if this is a story that is more about proper authority, then it would make sense. Mm-hmm.
As I was mulling this over and becoming upset that she did not allow me to sit on the right, she said to me, Are you upset, Hermas? The place on the right is for others who have already pleased God and suffered on behalf of the name. Many things must happen to you before you can sit with them, but continue in your simplicity as you are doing, and you will sit with them, as will everyone who does what they have done and endures what they have endured.
Okay. Ruben, you gotta stop with the female Deckard Cain. It's killing me.
You know what? I'm fine with it. And really? You know why?
Why?
Because I got a drink.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
You know, that makes perfect sense.
I'm like sleep deprived, and I drank half that and other things, and I'm still perturbed a little.
This is delicious. I recommend a sex on the beach.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a lot of sand, and that can get awkward.
You know what? It can, but it can also add a little spice to life.
That's right. It's a rock beach.
Like sandpaper spice?
Yes.
No,
Duh.
like just bruises because it's a rock beach. None of those sandy beaches.
Okay. Chapter 10.
Already?
What have they endured?
Well, yeah, because these are not super long chapters.
All right.
What have they endured? I asked. Listen, she said. Floggings, imprisonments, great afflictions, crucifixions, and wild beasts for the sake of the name. For this reason, the right side of holiness belongs to them and to anyone who suffers on account of the name. The left side is for the others. The same gifts and promises belong to both, those seated on the right and those seated on the left, but they alone sit on the right that have a certain glory.
Oh, this is interesting. So yeah, of course, a certain glory. We did cover that. Now the name for which the martyrs have suffered is supposed to be the name of Christ, right? Mm-hmm. Even though the manuscript evidence reveals theological confusion, and notwithstanding the honor given to the name of God in Judaism. So against Brock's both. Okay, so S and let's see, A, L2, and E. Yeah, so some of the readings here. So there's for my name is in one manuscript. For his name is in others. But it seems like both of those are incorrect. Only B and L1 are without qualifier. Both Whitaker and Jolie omit the possessive adjective. Yeah, it would be the one thing there because there's mu, which is used for me, like mine, and then autu, which is his, or I mean, it could be a few things, but in that statement, it would be his. So, yeah, the same ambiguity occurs elsewhere when, quote, the name is without qualifiers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but the whole martyrs suffering kind of thing, the recital of the martyrs' suffering cannot be taken as a historical account of things Hermas has seen. A simple acquaintance with a text like 2 Maccabees or Hebrews 11 could produce such a list. Yet it undoubtedly evokes some known past history, though not in detail. Perhaps the Neronian persecution, probably confined only to Rome, or the events alluded to in 1 Clement, which we do also have to read.
Yeah. You want to sit on the right side with them, but you have many shortcomings. But you will be cleansed of your shortcomings, and all those who are not of two minds will be cleansed from all the sins they have committed up to this day.
Yeah, there's that double-mindedness again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, Lawrence, as long as you're repentant, you can do anything.
As long as I don't stray even a little,
you
according to Hermas.
Yeah, you have to get baptized after
all the bad things.
Yeah. Right? And you have to be repentant. But you can do anything up until then.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Great.
What?
Rock on! That means you.
Yeah. Good job.
God, I didn't want to, though.
After she had said these things, she wanted to leave. But I fell before her feet and pled with her by the Lord to show me the vision she had promised. Again, she took my hand, raised me up, and seated me on the couch on the left side. She herself sat on the right, and raising up a bright rod, she said to me, "Do you see a great thing?" I said to her, "Lady, I see nothing."
Where?
So I really like Shepherd of Hermas's response to these women he talks to.
Yeah,
because
lady or woman.
Yeah, he always prefaces it this way. She said to me, "Look, do you not see a great tower being built upon the water across from you with bright squared stones?"
Leading the witness.
Objection.
Yeah, objection, leading the witness.
Overruled.
Leading question or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an objection to your overruling.
You got to keep in mind that the judge in this trial is the judge of judges.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Okay, so we better be really, really good lawyers here.
Mm-hmm.
I have prepared people for casting wish, so maybe I can help a little, but I'm not a lawyer.
Look, this tower with bright squared stones, right?
That's a monkey paw
This is
thing in
what-
D&D, you know what I mean?
Look, this is
Sure,
what
yeah, yeah.
we're
Gotta be
talking
real
about.
Specific.
The tower was being built in a square by the 6 young men who had come with her, and thousands of other men were bringing stones, some of them from the depths of the sea, some of them from the land, and they were handing them over to the 6 young men who were taking them and building. Okay, are these people or these stones from the depths of the sea?
Well,
Lawrence?
I mean, it does. So the translation that I have is probably not all too dissimilar to yours, right? So in this section, yes, he's nothing. Yeah, so the tower was being built in a square by the 6 young men who had come with her, but about 10,000 other men were carrying stones, some from the depth of the sea, some from the land, which they were delivering to the 6 young men who were taking and building. Who were taking and building it. So, this what was that, verse 5? So. So, of course, the allusion here is probably to what, the Tower of Babel?
It could be the
That'd be
Tower
my
of
best
Babel.
Yes. So it seems like. Oh, okay. Here we go. No.
No, this gets explained later on.
Yeah. So this would be the church. Looks like.
Yeah, it might be the church.
Yeah, the vision of the tower, which then stretches out before him, is the central image of the book, incorporating the eschatological, paranetic, and ecclesiological content that will be gradually unfolded in the form of verbal instruction. The church as building has a previous history, as does the tower as a symbol of strength and duration. Its use as antidote to the Tower of Babel does not seem to be at work here. Okay, so it would be a reference literally to just the building of a church.
Thus they placed all the stones drawn from the depths in the building, for they fit together and were straight at their joints with the other stones. And they were placed together so that their joints were invisible. The building of the towers seemed to have been made out of a single stone. So pretty good craftsmanship.
Yeah, definitely. If it looks like it's just one piece.
Yep. But they tossed, actually, Chris, you did bricklaying.
Yeah, I did some masonry and lapidary work.
That was like his favorite thing for like a year.
Yeah.
Like
And
he
I
could not
still-
stop talking about it.
I still enjoy building construction in principle.
This man would look at like a building while we were walking by and
They're
start
so
talking
cool.
about the brickwork.
Because I was learning about it at the time. Like, there's a lot to it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's more complicated than you'd think.
No,
but
no, I'm
also,
sure,
you
sure.
know, not as well. Kind of everything's still the same thing. It's bricks
Slap
and-
some cheap plaster on top of that
Well,
brick.
that's a different career entirely. They had people who did like facade work, but they got paid the least.
Well,
What was
as
your
a
question?
bricklayer,
See, during
what
that
would
time-
you say if I told you that I was going to take stones and just stack them up on top of each other such that there's no visible space between the stones?
Then I would reference you to the Olmec and Machu Picchu, I believe, or one of the guys from there. Any actually.
Were those built from mud brick though?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
The masonry of the walls specifically is such that they are like perfectly flat against each other, and it's like airtight.
Okay.
But they also slide along the same axis so that if there is any geological change, they still move with each other. It's crazy.
That is cool.
There's some math involved. They made these blocks specifically out of like this 5-sided shape. But it's not. Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Okay.
But these are just stones
Yeah,
that are
yep.
being taken up out of the
Yeah, that's what it
sea.
looked like. Yeah.
Well, you
So it's,
probably got to put a lot of thought involved if you want to like make it
Like
not
the-
just a
They
stat.
should have described the math.
this is not going to be a consistent kind of stone either.
And if we're talking about the building of a church or really anything in
same stone.
that part of the world, I don't think anything ever acted like that in that part of the world. Like no building ever was so well put together that you thought it was made of one piece. Like unless they're literally carving it out of a cave.
Well, yeah,
but,
I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say my one example or
is a cave.
is these types. Well, it's more than one, I suppose, but I don't know the name of them. They're all over the world, but they're types of religious structures. Some of them are mosques, some of them are churches.
Right. But
they're carved straight out of stone. One giant slab of stone.
Like you can go to Petra, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, putting together multiple pieces to look like it was carved from one piece is not something that we see in that part of the world.
I don't think you see it in any part of the world.
You just described a place where you see it like that.
Still distinctly they're bricks.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, these are not
like
bricks.
they have lips.
Okay.
But you can't fit a razor blade through them. Is what
gotcha.
Apparently,
what I'm thinking of is like that Soviet block style where it's just a cement
concrete,
building.
Yeah,
right. That's what it would visually look like. It's not very appealing.
Well, they're not talking about concrete, unfortunately.
No, they're talking about just stone that looks like a single piece when they put it together. Anyway. But they tossed aside some of the other stones that were brought from the dry land, while others they placed in the building. Others they broke up and cast far from the tower. Many other stones were lying around the tower, and they did not use them in the building. For some of them had a rough surface, others had cracks, others were broken off, others were white and round and did not fit in the building. I saw other stones cast far from the tower. Yeah, so they're not even working these stones, Chris.
No, they're just literally first thing that comes out. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I do believe that was what they did with the types of rocks that I was talking about. But they also did intentional natural weathering. I believe that's how they got it so precise.
That would make. That would make some sense, right? So
they left it on a hill over a river for like a week or something before they brought it in. I think the conclusion was that they were weathered intentionally.
Gotcha.
That's how they got it that way. They didn't do any of that, I'm sure.
So the detailed descriptions of the various kinds of stones mark the beginning of the allegory that will be explained after the description is completed. All the stones taken from the water are immediately useful and shaped to fit with one another. I see, okay. Mm-hmm. While those from dry ground have various problems, each of which will later have an application. The description of the stones that fall and lie around in unwanted places may draw upon local quarrying methods. Kersop Lake tells of seeing the quarrying of stones between Frascati and Grottaferrata. The thing is, I know those are probably cities, but they sound delicious.
Grottaferrata.
What was the first one?
Frascati.
Yeah, I'd have a Frascati.
Yeah, it sounds
It's pretty good.
Sounds delicious.
And the other one?
Grottaferrata.
Yeah, that's like a dessert too.
Yeah.
These are both desserts to me.
Yeah, but between those, I'm guessing they're cities. For the building of the electric railway by quarrying on a precipice and allowing the stones to fall into a chute whose trajectory was not always accurate. Interesting. Okay, so that was one of their methods. They literally just kind of checked to see if their slide was good enough.
Slide broke.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess.
Sorry.
Saw other stones cast far from the tower. These came onto the path, but did not remain there, but rolled from the path onto the rough terrain. Others fell into the fire and were burned, and others fell near the water, but could not be rolled into it, even though they wanted to be. What?
The rocks want it to be.
What?
I'm going to check the translation.
The rocks wanted?
Just to be sure, I'm going to check the translation.
Check the translation, but while you do that, I'm going to simply state ironic or bizarre conversation that I was having earlier today about whether or not rocks could have a perception. over billions of years based on accumulation of like mass through particles going inside and water.
So
I don't know.
okay, so the translation here,
built up.
this would be a lot easier in the original language, actually. So, others were falling into fire and burning up. Others were falling near water and could not roll into the water, even though they wished to keep rolling into the water. Now,
What?
I don't know who they is referring to there.
The rocks.
It sounds like it, sure. But like I said, this would be a lot easier in the original language, right? So if I had the Greek, I could tell you who they was referring to.
Is there a footnote?
No.
Is there a note?
No. Not on that.
All right, I'm adding rocks to the list of kinds of things.
No, here's the thing. So, do you guys remember I think it was in the Psalms where the trees
Ryan says desired.
Yeah.
So desired
And
want,
Yeah.
wish.
Yeah. So either way, right?
These are all things that like a thinking thing would do.
It is, right. But do you guys remember that part, and I think it was Psalms, where the trees started singing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was Psalms, right? It could have been something else. But that kind of
It's
animated thing.
Personification.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Personification of inanimate objects kind of is supposed to be about, how all-encompassing God's power is or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll play along until the rocks attack.
Right. And then we got a real issue. We got a real problem when the rocks attack.
Yeah.
Because the rock is going to hit us with the rock bottom.
Smackdown.
And then he's going to layeth the smacketh down, which is the only reason smackdown is a word is because the rock popularized it.
It's also
The
a
Rock
Pokemon
made it up.
move.
What?
It's a Pokemon move.
That's why.
Yeah. It's
No,
rock
I'm saying
type.
that The Rock invented the term SmackDown.
I know.
It became the TV show
That's crazy,
SmackDown,
isn't that?
and it became a Pokemon move.
I know.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's very influential.
The guy is made of charisma.
So much charisma.
Yeah.
Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
Is the Rock an atheist? Would he be on our show?
Dude, I don't know, but he probably wouldn't be on the show.
Why not?
I
We'll
tried
play
to get
D&D with him.
I tried to get MVP on the show.
Try the Rock.
I think MVP is probably more realistic. No offense to MVP,
Don't shoot down your own dreams without trying, Lawrence. You gotta shoot for the top, or it's not even
jabronis.
fucking worth it.
I think because MVP is actually like an out atheist, so I think he would be much more open to something like this. Seth Rollins as well is an out atheist, so I think it'd be really cool to have one of those guys on.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about Seth MacFarlane?
that would also be cool, but I don't think I could get in contact with Seth MacFarlane.
He's got an
Hey,
email
Seth.
address.
Reach out to us.
Yeah, right. You do
He's
it,
got an
Seth.
email address, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, but I mean, it's probably all
You're
looked
in front
through.
of a camera. He's in front of a camera, or fucking writing
Wow, we're
about
so
shit.
similar.
You're writing about shit. What's the difference? He's not that impressive. He's just a guy. People just think he's cool. I also like
Anyways.
the shows he usually makes. Sometimes he talks about things too much, like cocaine.
Chapter 11.
Whatever.
Chapter 11. When she had shown me these things, she wanted to hurry away. I said to her, "Lady, what good is it for me to see these things if I don't know what they mean?" She answered and said to me, "You, fellow, are a crafty one, wanting to know about the tower."
Yeah, right. What a dick. What a dick for wanting to know about this vision.
"Yes, lady," I said. "I want to announce it to the brothers so that they can become more cheerful."
They want the voice back.
Okay. "For when they hear these things, they will know the Lord is great glory." She said, "Many will indeed hear, and some of those who hear will rejoice, but some will weep. But even these latter, if they hear and repeat, they will rejoice as well. Hear therefore the parables of the tower, for I will reveal everything to you.
Lawrence was right. I just
That-
need to drink more.
Then trouble me no further about the revelation, for these revelations are completed and fulfilled. But you will not stop asking about revelations.
I swear.
Because you are shameless."
I swear half of this is like incomprehensible.
Yeah, but so is the text, so Yeah, right.
I think it makes more
pretty
sense.
straightforward,
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. She's saying that some will like it, some won't. But even the ones who won't will like it once they start repeating it. Basically, when you condition them to like it.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I feel traumatized just hearing that. So,
Yep.
might not work as well as they think.
Anyways, the tower which you see being built is I, the church, who has appeared to you both now and previously.
You know what's funny? So I remember I think it was
This is where
in
the church comes from, guys.
right. This is the
Holy natural
embodiment.
process.
The embodiment of the preeminent church of Christ.
Yes, and
Rocks have a will of their own. They want to be built into this church.
yes, and I think that in the last vision, the shepherd thought that this woman was the Sibyl.
Mhm.
I think that there was a very specific reference to her being the prophetess, right?
Yeah, the Sibyl.
Yeah, and the sorry, the portion here where we're getting this explanation that this is the church. Like finally we have some explanation, because beforehand this could have been whoever, honestly.
Yeah.
It was me.
Could have been. Okay. But you will not stop asking about revelations because you are shameless. The tower which you see being built is I, the church, who has appeared to you both now and previously. And so ask whatever you wish about the tower, and I will reveal it to you, that you may rejoice with the saints.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Hey, guys,
nice.
what's that thing at the very end of the Bible we're all looking forward to?
Revelation.
Ah, man. We can't stop talking about it.
I said to her, Lady, since you have on this one occasion considered me worthy to reveal all things to me, reveal them. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Just reveal everything.
Yes, please.
Just tell me everything. She said to me, whatever can be revealed to you will be revealed. Only let your heart be set on God, and do not be of two minds, whatever you see. I asked her, why, lady, is the tower built upon the water? I have told you already, she said, and you keep seeking. It is by seeking, therefore, that you find the truth. As to why the tower is built upon water, listen, it is because your life was saved and will be saved through the water. But the tower is founded on the word of the Almighty and glorious name, and is strengthened by the invisible power of the Master.
So,
This is pretty funny.
verse 5 contains a complicated textual problem.
Lady.
So it's just all lady.
They should have gone with Milady, is what someone said.
So A, B, and L1 add the words in brackets. This is panurgos e peritas graphas. So
I can just replace the ladies with milady.
Yeah, why not? It's just a
I'm guessing this would be so.
That's your commentary, ma.
So would this be concerning the words? I'm not sure what panurgos means, but definitely like concerning the words or the writings. That's part of it. But it's apparently omitted by many text critics and commentators as haplography, but retained by Diblis, Snyder, Joly, and Brox on the grounds that the sentence makes no sense without it. The woman had not told Hermas previously why the tower was built on water, though she had called him mischievous. Oh, okay. That's what panurgos means, mischievous, about his inquiries. But how do the scriptures? Oh, yeah, the writings. That's what they're using it that way. Okay. Yes, but how do the scriptures enter in? Dibelius reconstructed the original as you are mischievous about inquiries, you inquire carefully, and by inquiring you will find. But Joly, rejecting Dibelius's solution, as too complicated. Preferred to keep scriptures, arguing that it was an early introduction into the text at a time when Hermas was considered scripture, then removed later. That would be... I don't know. However, as Jolie argues, I graphai, so the scriptures. Yeah, it would be the scriptures, but it would be feminine. So, yeah, at this early date, need not mean scripture. So I guess just the writings, the letters, but could refer to the written portion of the revelation given to Hermas. Creation was... Yes, okay, so that was... it goes over something else now. But yeah, that is the textual issue there.
And with that, I'm going to hand it off to you for a few chapters.
Great, okay. So I think here is where we are on...
Chapter 12.
4? Wait, what?
Chapter 12.
Chapter 12, right, okay. Gotcha. I answered her.
Why?
Lady, this thing is great and marvelous. Who are the 6 young men who are building the tower, lady? These are the holy angels of God who were created first, to whom the Lord turned over all his creation to increase, build up, and govern all creation. So through them, the construction of the tower will be completed.
Terrible old lady voice.
So this is very interesting. So now we have the first set of angels, and their task in their lives, I guess, is to create the church.
When does God create the angels?
So let's see here. These 6 primary angels are the ones who previously escorted the... Yeah, I guess they're the same ones from before, right? Yeah, but... and are generally understood to be those first created and responsible for cosmic supervision in Jewish apocalypticism. Do we have a copy of First Enoch here?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Amazing. So if you want to pull it up.
It's worth having these 6,000 books.
Yeah, right?
Thank you for helping us to accumulate this.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
What chapter?
Yeah, so let's see. First Enoch 90, 20 through 22. So while you pull that up, yeah, except that there are usually 7, not 6. The 7th angel will appear later as Michael. So yeah, that would be the greatest one, and it's usually the greatest one, right? Like there's some people now that even identify Jesus with Michael.
90, what verses?
You guys know anybody named Michael?
20 through 21.
I knew a bunch of Michaels.
The God one.
No,
Michael God?
No, the people named Michael.
And thereupon I saw the wolves, and how they oppressed the sheep exceedingly with all their power. And the sheep cried aloud, and the Lord came to the sheep and began to smite those wolves. And the wolves began to make lamentation, but the sheep became quiet and forthwith ceased to cry out. And I saw the sheep till they departed from amongst the wolves. But the eyes of the wolves were blinded, and the wolves departed in pursuit of the sheep with all their power.
That's... What?
It's from the animal apocalypse.
Oh, okay. I was like, how is this related to...
Oh, wait. No,
I was like, what?
That's just a weird division that they had within chapter 89.
Because 90 through... Yeah,
90. And I saw it till a throne was erected in the pleasant land, and the Lord of the sheep sat himself thereon. And the others took the sealed books and opened those books before the Lord of the sheep. And the Lord called those men the 7 first white ones.
Yeah, that last one, the one we read before.
This translation, man.
And commanded that they should bring before him, beginning with the first star, which had the way all the stars whose privy members were like those of horses.
So the...
All the stars whose privy members were like those of horses.
You remember?
Yeah, that sounds like that thing in Ezekiel. So the... Wim, be careful with that shit. Be fucking careful with that shit.
But when does God create
section,
the angels? Okay, I'm looking at Genesis, right?
It doesn't say that.
Genesis,
I know.
God created the heaven and the earth, right? But then it only discusses the creation of earth,
Yeah. Because the thing is, they're not described in Genesis, at least like the creation of these 7 angels, right? So we get the explanation in Enoch, right? Mm-hmm. And we're getting this explanation now. And the one in Enoch, aside from having a different number of them, seems to be
there's 7 in Enoch, and in this there's 6 men and 1 woman. 7,
right. But remember, the woman is
the woman's
church.
The church.
Yeah.
Is the church not an angelic being?
No, it's rocks.
Well, I guess in this case it is.
Are alive.
Or in this case,
the hive consciousness of those rocks.
Would you consider this woman an angelic being, or would you consider her something else? Something else divine.
The rocks, having no distinction, were a metaphor for the hive consciousness that they contain, which is the woman, which is the manifestation of the church.
I wish we had a Catholic on stream.
That'd be something.
So with it.
But either way, apparently Michael will actually appear later, so it's still 7, but it's just 6 right now.
Yeah. So these are the 6 ones that the church can command around.
Essentially, yeah. And Michael probably plays a different role. It should make sense in context of Revelation. But I do want to point out that so the section here about these 6 angels constructing the church. Mm-hmm. I've actually forgotten my point.
Okay. Well,
I had something and then I just lost it.
Then keep on reading.
By the way, yeah. The job description of the 6 angels is to foster and take charge of creation. And, right. What I was going to point out. Oh, no. So in Enoch, right, at that point in time, there wouldn't have been a theology about the church in any Christian sense. But now, after this is written, after there's already a church.
Yes.
Now that theology is being reinterpreted to stand for the church.
Like the Christmas tree.
Yes, like the Christmas tree.
No, I wasn't kidding. I mean,
yeah,
it's just kind of a
Isn't the church the bride in mainstream Christianity?
It can be. It depends on what section of the Bible you're reading. But it can be the bride.
But the bride's always Jerusalem.
That too. Yeah, that could also be the bride. There are lots of ways that it has been put within Christianity.
How could you read the Old Testament and come to the conclusion that the bride is the church? Right?
Oh, this is very simple. You forget historical context. You forget timelines, and you just view it all as one.
Yeah, even though it's been
very simple,
a long time, and we've had weird translations and errors over time, there's still some continuity in here, enough to conclude that you need context.
Right, and then Jesus
but
is
if
the
you
groom
remember,
and the church is then is the church like the daughter-in-law of the father? And
do you? I think it was it a psalm.
And then was it a proverb? What is Jerusalem?
No, it was in Song. No, sorry, it was Song of Solomon where there was a marriage, right? No, was that Psalms? It may have been Psalms.
There are a lot of marriages.
Okay, no, sorry. The one where was it in Proverbs? I forget where it was. It was a piece of wisdom literature where the church, or sorry, not the church. Now I'm fucking it up. Where Jerusalem was marrying God.
Mm-hmm. I think this is mentioned multiple times.
But we actually had a marriage
scene. Right. Yeah. Was that in Song of Songs?
I don't remember. It may have been in that, or it could have been in, because that would make sense, right? But also could have been in Psalms.
It's probably a psalm.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but I do remember that being a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Either way, I'm going to continue on.
Yeah, continue.
Please.
Yeah. And who are the others who are bringing stones? They are also angels of God, but these 6 are superior to them.
Whoa.
Yeah, right.
Whoa. What do you mean superior?
Yeah, right. Superior. Oh, calm down there.
Well, I mean, it's at a higher elevation and it goes deeper.
We're not.
Mm-hmm.
Not even risking it.
What makes these six?
We're not
superior?
talking about
I
it.
just said that. Is no one listening? It's at a higher elevation and they go deeper.
That
now,
must
what
be
that
it.
means is also up to interpretation.
The construction of the tower will be brought to completion, and all of them together will rejoice around the building of the tower and will glorify God because the building of the tower has been finished. I asked her, Lady, I would like to know the destiny of the stones and their import.
You should start talking to your mom this way.
Lady.
Lady.
So she answered me, it is not that you are more worthy than all the others, that it should be revealed to you. There were others before you and better than you to whom these visions ought to have been revealed.
Oops.
But God screwed up and couldn't do it then.
I just pushed all the buttons at once out of laughter. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. This is so
Never
funny.
happened before.
Yeah, there were others before you and better than you to whom these visions ought to have been revealed.
Yeah, like anyone else, but fucking it's fine. It's you, I guess.
But that God's name might be honored. It was revealed and will be revealed to you because of the double-minded who debate in their hearts whether things are like this or not. Tell them that all these things are true and nothing of this is beyond the truth. But everything is firm, reliable, and established.
Well, mine says firm and certain and established.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Oh, geez. We've entered into like epistemic absolute certainty.
Certainly, certainly.
Yes.
So there looks to be some similarities here between this section and the second vision.
What's the relationship between Jerusalem and Jesus? If Jerusalem's the bride of the Father, she's not the mother of Jesus. Is she a stepmother?
Well, she wouldn't have been the mother.
No,
of
because
Jesus.
Mary's the mother of Jesus.
Right, yeah.
Oh, Bethlehem.
Jerusalem is Yahweh's bride,
Yeah.
right? And Asherah is Yahweh's ex-wife.
Yeah, historically speaking.
Yeah. So, like, is there
Not
any?
a sitcom.
What is Asherah to Jesus? Is there any
Oh, man,
relationship?
that's a good one. So I guess it depends on how, like, if someone believes in a pre-existent Christ, then I suppose would it be?
Or timeless.
And
I guess
you
it wouldn't
need
be
to
his
believe
mom.
in a pre-existent Christ because it's established
Yeah.
in John.
Yeah. So I would think that. No, you know what? If we were to combine both the mythology and the history of all this stuff, it would have to be that Jesus. I don't want to say it's a stepmom, right? Because the Christ wouldn't have had a mom proper.
Yeah.
So this would just be his adopted mom,
Adopted mom.
except they didn't adopt him, right? So
Yeah. Unless you're an adoptionist.
right, unless you're an adoptionist.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the word for that would be because it's, not entirely a possible situation in real life.
You know, he seems to have a really bad time in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just Jerusalem being like petty about Mary,
Aren't we all?
right? Like this Yahweh dude goes off and cheats on his wife with this young girl. And
Pregnant.
yeah, now this kid's
Classic.
running around.
Classic.
But you know what? We're gonna get an explanation of the stones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they high?
Yes. Now listen about the stones that go into the building. Those that are square and white and fit into their joints are the apostles and overseers and teachers and deacons who proceed mindful of the dignity of God, who have governed and taught and served the elect of God in holiness and dignity, some of whom have fallen asleep and some of whom are still alive.
Diggity.
They were always in harmony with each other and were in peace with one another and listened to each other. This is why their joints fit with one another in the building of the tower.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Right? It's a metaphor. Wow.
They must agree. They must be in perfect agreement. There can be no individuality. You must submit.
Right. No individuality is what is being talked about here. Yes. And who are those drawn from the depths and placed in the tower, whose joints fit together with the other stones already built into it? These are they who have suffered for the name of the Lord. The martyrs. But I would like to know, lady, who are the other stones brought from dry land? Those that go into the building, unhewn, are those whom the Lord approved because they proceeded in the uprightness of the Lord and carried out his commandments. And who are those that are brought and placed in the building? They are new in the faith and faithful. Right. So they're not building blocks. They are just part of the community.
They're just there.
Yeah.
Fucking thralls.
Yes, they are new in the faith and faithful. They are being admonished by the angels to do good, and for this reason no evil was found in them. Who are those they were rejecting and throwing away? These are the ones who have sinned and wished to be converted.
We're still in chapter 12?
13. Sorry. We should have said that.
Yes.
We're almost done with 13.
Oh, thanks.
Sorry.
You know, I would have asked if I was not tired as hell.
Fair enough. Anyways, yeah, so these are those who have sinned and wish to be converted. Speaking of tired as hell. This is why they have not been thrown very far from the tower, because they will still be useful in the building if they are converted. So those who are about to accept conversion, if they do so, will be strong in the faith if they do so while the tower is still being built. But if the building is finished, there will no longer be a place for them, but they will be cast out. But at least they have this advantage, that they lie alongside the tower.
Wow. So deep.
So this
That's
section
what they
here.
meant by superior. I told you that. Never mind.
So this is it's eschatological in a sense.
Is it?
Yes.
It's about the establishment of the church and the hierarchy
It
thereof.
is. It is. But it also is talking about a point in time in which it will be too late to repent, essentially. So all these people want to repent, right? But they have to do it early on to be part of the church. But by the time it's built, it's too late. So yes, it is eschatological.
Dun, dun, dun.
Once the building's completed.
Exactly.
But
And what does that mean? Once the building is completed,
once
In
the building
Christian-
is completed,
in the Christian
refers to
worldview-
the eschatological sequence of events which takes place, wherein everyone bows the knee, which means that literally everyone would be included within the repentance.
Yeah, you'd think. Which is
What about Noah?
very interesting how both things can be true, right? But I think it's I've always had like a different interpretation of that. I think, or I guess a different understanding of it from what I've heard
Well, it
from
comes
Christians.
from the Jewish eschatology, where the Jewish eschatology says that everyone will, acknowledge the existence of God, and they will turn to the Jews for guidance as
Yeah,
God's
yeah.
chosen people.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really just the same claim, but from a Christian perspective.
Yeah, but they take it usually a step further, right? Because if you have this punishment of hell, well, it's like I just bent the knee to God, right? Like if that was a thing I was meant to do, then why should you go to hell.
Well, would you go to hell?
I don't know. But the thing is, if every knee will bend down to them, right?
Who would go to hell at that point?
Right. So the way I always viewed it is like, so you acknowledge the superiority of God at that point without repentance necessarily. So slightly theologically different, but yeah. But yeah, this section here, I would say that it is.
No, Jews do not have a hell. There's Sheol, and Sheol is just being underground.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Yeah, so Splunkers,
Yeah.
check out Shoal if you're interested. It's around.
Yeah.
Openings. If it's the ground. Just check it out.
But like if you read the passages about Sheol, they're just like, oh, you're underground. You can't see. You can't move.
Yeah, they talk about an existence after death. They do in some cases, I should say. They talk about that. So they talk about a resurrection, right? But it would be for everybody, at least for the Jews.
Immediately prior to judgment.
Yeah. And there are special people who seem to have some sort of continued existence, like Samuel, who in the Witch of Endor story, his ghost comes up. And, by the way, that spirit of his that comes up is called Elohim,
Yes.
which is very interesting. So
I wonder if we just took every Elohim and changed it to God. What would what would it look like?
Then that section wouldn't make much sense.
No, it wouldn't.
No,
Maybe it would.
I don't think so.
It'd completely change everything.
Unless unless it would be like a deification kind of thing where Samuel is now God.
Isn't he?
Touche.
I don't think so.
I thought God was omnipresent.
That's not how that works.
Like God's
Christians
identity.
don't think that I'm God.
Why not?
Why not?
God is non-contingent and continuous, and
Right, because they're going to be like, well, he made you with your own free will. You're your own entity.
yeah, but literally every single like physical point that you exist in is also him. So like you are still God
listen, I don't know.
within Christianity.
But the thing is, Christians don't see it that way, right?
Well, Christians don't know anything about Christianity.
Wow.
I think we've established
There's-
this pretty
there's-
firmly.
Unfortunately,
Funny, but true.
that is true for, I would say, the majority of Christians.
Look, I looked at a study of this, right? Atheists know the Bible better than
better.
Jews. Jews know the Bible better than Christians.
Yeah.
Christians know
Because the
Bible.
Jews at least read the Bible, at least the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Also, there are a lot more Christians, and the religion was laxed compared to like what Jews were. They were like, "Oh, we need to have more restrictions and include less people." And Christians were like, "How do we include everybody? Let's grab all the other religions and traditions, cram them into ours." Yeah, that's why it was so rapid and successful. Also, it was forced on people.
Well, no, it was democratized, right? So it was put in a way where it was accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason it became so
like
popular.
why Gnosticism is like secret knowledge that
Yeah, that's why that one died out.
will go away because we died out. Whoops.
Yeah,
My
right.
favorite ones are the ones that die out because they refuse to breed.
Oh yeah, those are fun too. So
Like antinatalists.
yeah, but the thing is, antinatalists are right.
Antinatalists.
We shouldn't breed.
Wow.
It's horrible. We've
No,
destroyed everything.
Antinatalists are right that you shouldn't breed.
Well,
So now we're on to chapter 14.
oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to know? So yeah, hold on. Yeah. Do you want to know who are those who are being broken up and thrown far from the tower? These are the sons and daughters of lawlessness. Their faith was hypocritical, and everything evil never left them. That is why, for them, there is no salvation, since they are not useful because of their wickedness. That is why they were broken up and thrown far away because of God's anger, which they provoked.
So anyone who doesn't believe or repent, they're just like useless tools that have been cast aside.
essentially, yeah. They are not helping with the church.
Which means they are worthless.
Yes.
Throw them away.
But the many others that you saw lying around and not going into the building, the scaly ones, are those who have known the truth, but did not persevere in it, nor continue to cohere with the holy ones. Therefore, they are unuseful.
This is why they're of no use.
So, this section on the scaly ones, interesting, right?
Mine just says the ones that are rough.
I mean, yeah, I suppose in some sense, scaly could be rough, but usually things that are scaly aren't that rough. I mean, at least not in my experience.
Mine doesn't even say scaly.
Try petting
says rough.
like
No.
iguana backwards against its scales. It's pretty
against
pretty
the
rough.
grain. That's true.
But you know what they could be referring to?
What's that?
They could be referring to common things said about Jews, right?
Or
About them
callousness.
being the synagogue of Satan, serpents.
Oh, okay. I
Right.
see where you're going.
It could be like an anti-Semitic thing.
So let's see the note on here. The scaly stones started out right, knowing the truth, but did not continue consistently according to it. And most important, they have not been faithful to their social responsibilities as Christians. This unusual use of the verb adhere will later go to the heart of Hermas's complaint about the quality of community life. So we were going over some words recently, like earlier today. And when we're talking about the heart of a complaint, what's that called? A gravamen? Gravamen. There's a word
Yeah, gravamen.
for the heart or the core of of a complaint.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I forget how we found it, but we did find it.
I was looking for synonyms, and you just kept clicking on different
Right.
synonyms for different things, and then we found a word that no one recognized.
Right. I was like, what the
Had to
fuck
look
is that?
into it.
Yeah. So
It was from meat and potatoes. It is, the core of the argument.
yeah. Like the core the core complaint, we had to look that up.
What is the relationship between the New Testament and Jesus when referring to the Jesus of faith? And what makes a Christian according to the New Testament?
Well, that's a
What
tough
makes
one.
a Christian
Is faith, right? It was faith
and
alone.
faith is action. According to Paul, if you are not behaving in accordance with Christianity, then you cannot say that you genuinely believe in Christianity, right? So that is what is required to be a Christian, right?
Sure, yeah.
What Jesus of the New Testament says directly
At least what
is
we're
that
told.
not one jot and not one tittle will be removed from the law until everything comes to pass.
Right, yeah.
Right? Which
So,
means that he's a Torah fundamentalist Jew. That's what he supports.
yeah. Now, of course, his positions for, well, I guess, because you could put this in a whole bunch of different ways, right? So he goes back to the Torah, but his interpretation of the Torah is starkly different from his opponents as is presented. And it is, we would call it a much more liberal interpretation.
Yes.
So I would think that even
I
though
don't know.
maybe
I
Jesus...
wouldn't necessarily call it a more liberal interpretation. I would say that what Jesus is doing is denying the rabbinical council's authority and instead is insisting on strict Torah fundamentalism.
Well, no, because sometimes he would...
But that was his main complaint against the Pharisees, is that they continually add things to the law.
Right, that they add things to the law, right. So it was, all the extra stuff, yeah. Mm-hmm. So in some sense, he is a Torah fundamentalist. But in a weird way, that means he was much more liberal
Yeah.
about the faith than...
They had become more conservative. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So But then once you get into Paul, he has a different actually in Ephesians, right? At the end he had like the Christian way of living and stuff. So I would I think I would agree with your assessment then.
But as for the difference between the New Testament's Jesus and the Jesus of faith, the Jesus of faith has
some similarities, right?
If you're Catholic, the Jesus of faith is like maybe like 10% similar to the Jesus of Scripture.
Sure.
Right. It really like there's some people who are not Paulians, right? Like they are like I've met people who are
who don't take Paul seriously.
They're gospel fundamentalists.
Yeah. Which the thing is, I get that part. I totally get that part. Like a lot of people think that, that's crazy. And I think Penn guy, I think he thinks that's like fucking wild. And I'm like, no, that makes sense. Like if you think these are the genuine words of Jesus, why would you listen to anything but those? Like, I don't know. That part makes sense to me. Like Paul wasn't even with Jesus. Like, he said
Paul met Jesus, and then Jesus gave Paul
in a revelation, right? But like, he didn't know Jesus in life, and he denied Jesus, while Jesus was alive, or at least like the apostles too.
He killed a bunch of Christians.
He was very, he persecuted. So I think that's why his story is very strong with the whole strength of the faith kind of thing, but. Why would you take, you don't have to take him seriously, is the thing.
No. Why wouldn't you take the Nag stuff, right?
No, because that's not canon. But we're not going to get into the whole canon
Nothing
debacle.
is real.
We should host a council, and we should...
Another one.
Yeah, we should host a council between all of the churches and get them to add at least some of the Nag stuff back in. Or in for the first time.
Which denomination would the historical Jesus recognize today if he was alive? Judaism. But
Judaism.
No.
He would be an Orthodox Jew.
Well, the thing is, even the Orthodox Jews add a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Trevor, we gotta go on.
They have their own rabbinical traditions. So I would think that he would
might even be a Reform Jew then.
Yeah, maybe.
But he would be much more fundamentalist about it. And I think what would bring him to Orthodox Judaism is the fact that they are much more fundamentalist when it comes to the actual living in accordance with the law thing.
Sure.
But they're all Pharisees. So
right, so he'd have issues.
Interesting.
So I think maybe he would definitely not be a Trinitarian.
No. Certainly not a Trinitarian.
No.
Which means he would not be any of the extant forms of Christianity, essentially.
No, because there are forms of Christianity that aren't Trinitarian. So
living, practiced Christianity today.
Yeah. Actually, there's I forget what denomination he is actually, but there's this dude on campus who is not a Trinitarian. He's a Christian, but he's not a Trinitarian. So. And Penn guy always complains about him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think he's onto it, man. I think he's probably right. I love talking about Christology. I think it's really interesting, but it's kind of wrong. So
why don't you finish up this?
I
chapter,
will.
and then I'll take over.
Okay. So we're talking about more people that weren't useful to them, right? Who are the ones with the cracks?
Who's got the crack?
Do you got crack? Do you have crack?
They're talking about rocks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
These
Rocks,
are the ones
guys.
who hold things against each other in their hearts and are not at peace among themselves, but put on the appearance of peace. Of peace. When they are away from each other, the evil remains in their hearts. These are the cracks that the stones have.
Ooh.
The stunted ones. Oh, first of all, on that, so you're double-faced, right? You're two-faced. And guess what that would fit in with? The double-mindedness.
Yes.
Stones, which have at least two faces.
at
Maybe
least
we would recognize Sumerians more than rabbinical Judaism. Where are Sumerians today? What?
well, I know the Sumerians would have started not too long after the exile, but I don't know where the Sumerian. So still in Israel. Okay, gotcha.
But Israel is very rabbinical Jewish.
For the most part, yeah.
It purports to be a secular state, but it's
No shot.
What?
Yeah, so these the stunted ones are
not
the
a secular state, but a multi-faith state. No, it's theocracy. Clearly.
effectively, yeah.
They don't have a government, so it's nothing is real.
Wow.
I mean, at the very least, it's an ethno state.
Yeah. The stunted ones are those who have believed and for the most part live justly, but still have a measure of evil. This is why they are stunted and not completely developed. Who are the ones, lady, that are white and round and do not fit into the building? She answered me, how long will you be stupid and mindless, asking everything and understanding nothing?
Forever.
These are the ones who have faith but also have wealth of this world. Oh, yeah, because they're fat, right? Okay. Right, yeah, the fat shaming of rocks. Horrible. Wow, the church is a bitch.
You know,
Fat shaming of rocks.
these rocks think and feel, apparently.
They have wishes, desires, wants.
Yeah, so it's really interesting that this is the point at which she's like, how much of a fucking idiot are you?
You stop asking. Can you not figure it out on your own at this point? I think,
Right, but like the thing is, he asked beforehand about getting all this information about what everything means.
Now
and
she's
now
railing on him for some reason.
exactly. Like,
Why?
what was she expecting? That he wouldn't ask these questions when he explicitly said that he was going to ask these questions?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Stupid.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I can see why this wasn't included in canon. So, so they're the ones that were wealthy. When tribulation comes because of their wealth and their business affairs, they deny their Lord. I answered her, lady, then when will they become useful for the building? She said, when their wealth that seduces them is cut off. Then they will be useful to God. Just as the round stone cannot become square unless something of it is cut off and discarded, so those who are rich in this world, unless their wealth is cut off from men, cannot become useful to the Lord. You know, I feel like this should have been included in canon.
Yeah, donate all your money to the church. Come on.
Yeah, see, exactly. You should do that.
Donate all of your money to Friday Apocryphal podcast.
Right, exactly. Because
You can't be saved if you have money. It says so right here.
right, so
Don't
be
forget
smart,
to like,
be saved,
share, sub,
give
and
tithes.
follow, and be a member, and join Patreon, and
And all
get
the
a spinning
shilling.
wheel, and be
what
in the
was-
after show, and be on this show.
Yeah. What was
And-
the whole thing that what was it? Luther was against
Indulgences?
Yeah, you can buy indulgences.
Yeah, go ahead. We're totally cool with indulgences.
Yeah.
Man, we should somehow fit that in there with tithes and indulgences.
Which I just should point out, it's fucking wild that there were indulgences around for such a long time.
there still are. Not in this country per se as much, but if you go to like Brazil,
Well, I mean,
or
yeah, but-
Argentina, they've got all
sorry.
these like local gods.
What I
that
meant-
literally do that.
What I meant is before somebody complained about it. Like it's like the thing is because it was initially used as like a way to get crusaders. But the whole indulgence thing, you can buy your way out of sin, is fucking crazy. Like that's like you're stacking in their worldview, right? You're stacking immorality on top of immorality and saying that one immorality cancels out the other one, and then you're cool.
Look, I know that you managed to swindle this money away from this guy and kill him in some heist or something, but $5,000, you're good.
Two rights make a left.
No,
kind of thing.
they don't.
They don't. You're
They
right.
make a 180.
Well, why don't you continue?
Okay, we'll do.
It's 4 rights, and that's why we're charging you $5,000.
Learn this first from your own case. When you were rich, you were useless, but now you are useful and worthwhile for life. Oh my God.
Rich shaming much?
Yeah, money shaming. You gonna money shame the shepherd?
Now you're worthwhile for life. Yeah. Be useful to God, for you are taken from the same stones. Now, see, that is the end of chapter 14.
Hey, if you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and neighbors. I'm about to hop into chapter 15. Let's go. Chapter 15. I'm not going to do the voice. It's too much text.
Oh.
But the other stones that you saw cast far from the tower and falling upon the path and rolling from the path onto the rough terrain, these are the ones that have believed, but have left their truth path because they are of two minds. They are lost, thinking they can find a better path, and they are miserable, walking all over the rough terrain. But the ones that fell into the fire and were burned are those who completely abandon the living God, and they no longer think about repenting because of their licentious desires and the wicked deeds they have performed. I guess that's us.
We're not
Hello.
doing anything.
No, we're wicked.
Not believing in God.
That's not wicked.
No, it is.
How?
Well, there was a
We're
whole...
evil and deserving of hellfire.
I didn't do anything.
Right. No, but you did. You blasphemed against the Lord Almighty.
What'd I say?
You don't
believe in
fuck
him.
them.
Well, I haven't seen any. So what?
Wow, you're horrible.
Well, I'm not telling other people that my fucking opinion matters.
I think, yeah, that's true. You don't say that it matters.
No.
You just kind of say it.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what I think. It's like, oh, I don't see this thing. And it's like, yeah, well, from your perspective, there's a wall in the way or something. From like a religious person's perspective.
Wow, you're calling them all idiots.
No.
See, this is you
No, I'm just saying-
blaspheming against the
I'm just
Lord.
saying, like, this is the thing. Let's imagine hypothetically that there's like a spirit realm, and you can't detect it because you're not sensitive to it at all. Same with me. So I don't even believe this thing exists. I'm like, yeah,
You see-
I don't have any evidence to suggest that there's spirits floating around. I'm sorry.
That's blaspheming.
Is it though?
Yes.
How? I'm just telling you what I see.
Yes, that is a grave sin,
I'm not
an
telling you what
unforgivable
you see.
sin.
If your spirit's sensitive, you know,
Unforgivable according to the
jeez.
Gospels.
not even telling people my opinion is important.
Unforgivable, Chris.
We have a whole shirt about that.
Oh, right. I guess so. That's really disappointing that they're so stringent about this.
Right, you're scaly. That's what you are. You're scaly.
Unforgivable.
I'm smooth. Somebody verify this for me. I think.
But who are the other ones which fall near the water but cannot be rolled into it? These are the ones who have heard the word and wanted to be baptized in the name of the Lord, but when they recall what the life of true purity involves, they change their minds and return to pursue their evil desires. And so she completed her interpretation of the tower. But being completely shameless, I asked her yet another question.
Wow.
Whether these stones that were tossed aside and not fit into the building of the tower could repent and have a place in the tower. They can repent, she said, but they cannot be fit into this tower. They will be fit into a greatly inferior place, and then only after they have been tormented and have completed the days of their sins. This is why they will be removed from there, because they have taken part in the righteous word. And then they will be removed from the torments inflicted for the evil deeds they did.
Wow, okay, so this is...
But if deep down they do not want to repent, They will not be saved because of their hardened hearts.
Whose fault's that? Isn't God
Sometimes
harden people's
God's.
hearts?
Yeah. Depends on, because he did it in Exodus, right? So the section here, this seems a lot like I forget the name of it, but it's the theology that believes that there will be punishment, but only for a limited amount of time, and then you're okay. Because I mean, morally they recognize that there's something wrong with this. How could you be punished? How is it moral to punish someone for a finite? Yeah, how could you infinitely punish someone for a finite crime?
Let's find out.
They recognized that was immoral, so they came up with this idea that you are punished for a limited amount of time, depending on your sin, and then you're fine.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support Lawrence and keep him alive so he can keep getting tormented forever, yeah. Sorry, I had to.
Yep. Chapter 16.
Holy shit.
Number 16.
This is some holy shit, guys.
And so,
Burger King foot lettuce.
Oh, no.
The last thing you want in your Burger King burger is someone's
are you
foot
drunk?
fungus.
and so, when I stopped asking her about all these things, she said to me, "Do you want to see something else?"
So shit.
Uh-oh. She has a penis.
Being so eager to observe, I was excited by the prospects.
No!
Yo, where's this
going
going?
where I
Where
didn't want it
is
to
this
go.
going? She looked at me and smiled
Oh, no. No!
and said to me, "Do you see the 7 women around the tower?" "I see them, lady," I replied. "This tower," she said, "is supported by them according to the commandment of the Lord." Hear now about the work they do. The first of them, the one clasping her hands, is called faith.
Yeah, so this is vices and virtues.
Mhm. Those who are chosen by God are
Sorry,
saved
catalog of
through
virtues.
her.
My bad, not vices, obviously, but virtues.
And the other one, the one wearing a belt and acting like a man. Or the one girded and courageous. Okay. The other one, the one wearing a belt and acting like a man, is called self-restraint. She is the daughter of faith. Whoever follows her will be fortunate in his life because he will abandon all his evil deeds, leaving that if he abandons every evil desire, he will inherit eternal life.
She sounds boring.
Yeah, sit around and do nothing so you can live longer.
And the others.
Oh,
Lady, who are they? They are the daughters of one another.
What? Hold on.
They're the daughters of one another, called simplicity, knowledge, innocence, reverence, and love. And so when you perform all the works of their mother, you will be able to live.
So that's in verse 5, right? Yeah, so, but who are the others? Yeah, they are daughters of one another.
Okay.
Simplicity, knowledge, innocence, reverence, and love.
But how are they daughters of one another?
I don't know.
You see, let me give you an example. It's one of those staircases that all meet up and meet, you know what I mean? Like, what's that one artist, MC Escher, where the stairs all meet together?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. One is the mother of the other, who's the mother of the other, who's the mother of the other, who's the mother of the other. It just goes.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got it. So that faith is first the mother only of restraint, then of all the virtues, is not a contradiction. What? Who said it was? Such allegorical relationships are arbitrary, and the language of filiation makes any ancestor a mother or father.
No, okay. Sure.
For faith as mother, probably in adaptation of wisdom as mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fine. Can't have the infinite staircase, mothers, whatever.
I replied, "I wish to know, lady, about the power that each of them has." Or, "Milady." Tips Fedora.
That's so stupid.
You want to get you a
Checkmate, theists. Listen, she said, to the powers they have. Their powers are connected and follow one another in the order of their birth. From faith is born self-restraint, from self-restraint simplicity, from simplicity innocence, from innocence reverence, from reverence knowledge, and from knowledge love. And so their deeds are pure, reverent, and godly. Whoever serves as their slave and is able to adhere to their deeds will have a place to reside in the tower along with the saints of God.
Yeah, so these are, very simply put, virtues, and they are all interconnected, is essentially what it's saying.
And you're supposed to be their slave.
Yeah, you're supposed to listen to everything that they want. Yeah, you're supposed to do everything in accordance with all the, simplicity, knowledge, reverence, love, faith. Yeah. So it is quite a bit of work, but that's what saves you.
Yeah.
Just gonna hang out instead.
I began to ask
yeah, it's
her.
beginning to look a lot like faith is a lot of work.
Okay, here we are. I began to ask her about the times, about whether the end had already come. And she cried out with a loud voice, "You fool! Do you not see that the tower is still under construction?
You fool!
Yeah, you fool.
Only when its construction is finished will the end arrive. But
What'd I tell you?
But it will be built quickly. No longer ask me anything. This reminder is enough for you and the saints, along with the renewal of your spirits."
Wow, she is
These
not
things-
very happy to be someone to reveal things.
No.
She is
Ask me a
very
question.
upset
Yeah.
about having to reveal things. This is malicious compliance.
This is hidden secrets. So we're not telling you stuff.
No, here's the thing. No. God was like, hey, go down there and reveal these things to him.
Yeah,
And she's like, oh, fine.
Malicious compliance very well.
These things have not been revealed for your sake alone, for you are to show them to all the others in 3 days. First, however, you must think. But I enjoin you first, Hermas. With these words I'm about to say, you are to speak them all in the ears of the saints, that once they have heard and done them, they may be cleansed from their wicked deeds, and you along with them. That is the end of chapter 16.
Yeah, so everything in verse 11 from I direct you first, Hermas, these words I'm about to tell you, clearly refers to the next section, but after 3 days for you must understand first could belong with the future revelation or with what went before. If the 3-day reference is taken to refer to the future revelation and the full text is authentic, there's an awkwardness about the repetition of first. The present translation takes the problem statements to refer to what went before. Hermas is given a 3-day delay to ponder the revelation before communicating it to others.
Yeah. But that's the end of the reading today. If you enjoyed the stream, give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, neighbors. Hey, check out this pinned product. If you screwed up really bad and forgot to get a Valentine's Day gift for your partner and you are like, oh, yeah, it's in the mail, you can totally save your own ass right now by buying our Valentine's Day shirt.
Yeah.
And once it shows up, they whoever your partner is will very much enjoy it.
They're going to love it. They're going to love the rod of God. The rod of God is actually unstoppable. A force to be reckoned with.
Don't
The
tell
rod
that
is
to
his
the
penis.
Other powered nations in the world.
Yeah, we have Patreon. Lots of stuff on there. You could be on the show. You could be in Hangouts. You could win a T-shirt. You could get our video scripts. You could get According to Your Evidence, Unicorns Exist by Lawrence Yufa.
You're not. It's bad. It's bad. You don't want it.
You do want it.
You don't. It's really bad.
Lawrence just doesn't want to mail it to you.
It's just really bad. I'm embarrassed to even have written that thing. I'll write something else, and it'll be good.
No, you got to send.
And then everyone will get
for posterity. Everyone needs this book.
Everyone will get better books.
Nope,
they will.
They'll only get this book. This will be the only book that they read for the
Oh
rest of their
boy,
life.
I sure.
But
hope
for
not.
all the other books, they can
that
hop
time.
onto our Amazon wish list and buy them so that we can read them to you.
Not
while
just
you
to you.
read according to your
And for
evidence,
you.
unicorns
And for
exist.
For you. Right. For you.
Yeah, for
You
you.
don't have to.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's we got Facebook, Twitter, we got Discord. All the links are in the description. You
That's
should hop
right.
on the Discord.
That's right.
You know, nobody's ever chatting in the voice chat in the Discord. You guys should all
I'll instigate that
fraternize.
You want to start doing that?
Well, I will instigate that at some point. I have the setup for it,
Voice, all
You
need
mean
is
a microphone?
and a camera.
You don't even
You don't
need,
need a
a
camera.
camera.
Well, I want to be on camera. How do I do that?
You just set up a webcam pointed at you.
Or that thing.
I guess it's a camera. It can
Do
act as a
whatever.
webcam. It's like you don't know how.
I'm saying it's an
Webcams
excessive setup.
work?
It's excessive for Discord.
Okay,
It would be very excessive.
this is too
I'll
much.
use it.
I was thinking about actually using the voice chat for a little bit the other day to like just kind of study in there and see if anyone wanted to hang out and study.
I considered it
I would have, except I was playing games.
briefly. I considered it. It's probably just gonna be Bible stuff though.
Well, I was actually in the middle of researching Egypt stuff. Oh, I posted this in the Discord, but there was. Did you know that libraries have viewing rooms?
Yes.
See, I didn't.
Wow, I can't believe that, Lawrence. Really?
Yeah, did not know that. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know that. So I was looking for a specific book on Egypt. It was the first excavations of Deir el Bahari, and they were done in the 1890s. And they have at the UWM library a copy of that, like a first edition copy.
Wow.
So I had to like sign a thing for it. They gave me a whole list of rules. I couldn't like pick it up and whatnot. So I had to be super careful with it. But it's very old, and I found some like it had old pictures too, right? These are pictures from the 1890s. So, the quality isn't all that great, but whatever. And they probably had like a very long exposure time. So, but yeah, there's like some pictures I took. They obviously allowed you to bring in a camera, right? And phones counted as cameras. So, so here's an expedition to Punt, Egyptian ships landing and sailing off. This is from Hatshepsut's. Was it from Hatshepsut's tomb? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, funerary offerings to the queen as well. So it's very interesting going through this old book. That was wild to me.
And they should be digitizing it, but they're not.
Yeah.
Why aren't they?
There's a couple.
We don't want to harm the manuscript by
Listen, you just
taking
do it once.
pictures.
You do it once, and it's done.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's all it takes.
You send it
don't
to a
even
few
need
people.
flash photography, people.
Yeah,
Just take pictures.
actually, flash photography can damage them. So no flash, please.
But then you still have the
well-lit
record.
room.
Yeah. But either way, I think it would be
An
fun
archivist
to
in
just.
the making. I don't want people to destroy my documents with flash photography.
Sure, fine.
Destroy your documents with flash photography.
No, my documents.
Anyways, that's
the show for today.
Yeah, check
Join
us
the
out
Discord.
Friday. It's
And
Sunday.
we'll see
We're
you
seeing
on Sunday
Yeah.
for Philippians. Goodbye.